The story of the Ten Commandments begins with the journey to freedom. The Israelites enslaved in Egypt cried out for liberation.
God heard their pleas and sent me to lead them out of bondage.
This exodus was a momentous event. It marked the birth of a nation and the beginning of their covenant with God.
The Israelites faced many dangers on their journey. We wandered through the desert, facing hunger, thirst, and attacks from enemies.
Through it all, we held on to the hope of a better future. We trusted in God's promise to lead us to a land flowing with milk and honey.
The Exodus story is not just a historical account. It's a timeless narrative of liberation. It speaks to the human desire for freedom and the power of faith to overcome adversity. This journey to Mount Sinai was not just a physical trek, it was a spiritual pilgrimage. After weeks of arduous travel, the Israelites arrived at the foot of Mount Sinai. This imposing mountain, shrouded in smoke and fire, was where God chose to reveal his laws to Moses.
The presence of God was palpable. Thunder roared, lightning flashed, and a trumpet blast echoed across the desolate landscape.
The people were filled with awe and trepidation. They had never experienced anything like this before.
I ascended the mountain to meet with God. I received the Ten Commandments inscribed on 2 stone tablets, a direct communication from the divine.
This event was a pivotal moment in the history of Israel. The choice of Mount Sinai was significant. Mountains, often shrouded in mystery and majesty, are seen as places where heaven and earth meet. For the Israelites, Mount Sinai became a sacred space, forever linked to the revelation of God's law. This dramatic setting amplified the importance of the event and the gravity of the commandments. The Ten Commandments, short and clear, laid the foundation for a just and moral society. They covered a wide range of human behavior, from worship to interpersonal relationships. The first 4 commandments focused on the relationship between God and his people.
I am the Lord your God. This commandment established the foundation of the covenant. There is only one God, and you are to worship me alone.
You shall not make for yourself an idol. This prohibited the worship of false gods or images. God demanded their exclusive devotion.
You shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God. This commandment emphasized the sanctity and power of God's name.
Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. This commandment established a day of rest and dedication to God. These first 4 commandments emphasize the importance of reverence, devotion, and right worship. They established the foundation for a life lived in accordance with God's will. The Israelites listened intently as Moses relayed the 10 Commandments. They were overwhelmed with awe and fear. The presence of God was so powerful, the sound of his voice so commanding, that they trembled. They realized the gravity of their encounter with the divine.
We vowed to obey these commandments. We understood that these laws were not meant to restrict us, but to guide us toward a life of righteousness.
The 10 Commandments were not seen as a burden, but as a gift, a roadmap to a blessed life.
This event at Mount Sinai was a covenant ceremony. God, on his part, promised to protect and care for his people. The Israelites, in turn, pledged their obedience to his laws. This covenant was the basis for their relationship with God.
We promised to follow God's laws and live by his commandments.
And so, the foundation for a new society was laid, built on faith, obedience, and the promise of a divine covenant. Section 5. A covenant of law shaping Jewish life and identity. The 10 Commandments were more than just a list of rules. They became the foundation of Jewish law and the cornerstone of their identity. They provided a framework for a just and compassionate society. These laws addressed fundamental aspects of human behavior and social interaction. The remaining 6 commandments focused on relationships between people. Honor your father and your mother. This commandment emphasized respect for parents and authority figures. You shall not murder. This prohibited the taking of innocent life. It underscored the sanctity of human life. You shall not commit adultery. This commandment promoted faithfulness and fidelity in marriage. It protected the sacred bond between husband and wife. You shall not steal. This prohibited theft and promoted respect for the property of others. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. This commandment emphasized the importance of honesty and integrity. You shall not covet. This commandment warned against envy and greed, encouraging contentment and gratitude. These commandments, dealing with social and interpersonal relationships, aimed to create a just and compassionate society. They promoted respect, honesty, and responsibility towards one another. Section 6. Pillars of Morality, the Ten Commandments and Human Conduct. The Ten Commandments had a profound impact on the development of Western morality. They transcended their specific cultural context and resonated with people across time and cultures. Their principles, rooted in justice, compassion, and respect, continued to influence ethical systems today. The Ten Commandments provided a universal moral compass. They addressed fundamental human instincts and desires, providing guidelines for ethical behavior. The commandments against murder, theft, and lying, for example, are universally recognized as essential for a peaceful and just society. The commandments also emphasized the importance of personal integrity and responsibility. They called for honesty, faithfulness, and respect for others. These virtues are essential for building strong communities and meaningful relationships. The Ten Commandments, though ancient in origin, remained surprisingly relevant to contemporary ethical dilemmas. Section 7. Beyond Sinai, the enduring message of the commandments. The story of the Ten Commandments is not confined to the past. Its message continues to resonate in the modern world. These commandments, though thousands of years old, still offer guidance in navigating the complexities of life. Their principles of justice, compassion, and respect remain as relevant as ever. The Ten Commandments remind us of our obligations to God and to one another. They challenge us to live with integrity, to treat others with kindness, and to strive for justice in our communities. Their message is timeless because it speaks to the deepest longings of the human heart. In a world often characterized by conflict and division, the Ten Commandments offer a path to peace and reconciliation. They remind us of our shared humanity and our responsibility to care for one another. Their message of love, justice, and compassion remains a beacon of hope in a troubled world. Section 8. A Timeless Legacy. The Ten Commandments in the Modern World. The Ten Commandments continue to spark debate and discussion in the modern world. Their presence can be seen in courtrooms, classrooms, and places of worship. They remain a powerful symbol of moral authority. Though interpretations may vary, their core principles continue to shape legal systems and ethical frameworks. The Ten Commandments are not just for religious adherents. They offer a universal code of conduct, a set of principles that can guide us toward a more just and compassionate world. They challenge us to examine our own lives and to live in a way that honors God and uplifts our fellow human beings. The story of the Ten Commandments is a story of revelation, covenant, and moral guidance. It is a story that continues to shape our understanding of right and wrong, justice and mercy. As long as humanity seeks meaning and purpose, the Ten Commandments will continue to inspire and challenge us to live better lives.